As we take it back to Detroit, Michigan, 1967, of course, Tamla Motown Studios, with an absolute gem from Smokey Robinson and The Miracles. Co-written by Hank Cosby, Stevie Wonder and Smokey Robinson himself. Now before we get cracking into this tutorial, can you tell me the founding female member of The Miracles, also known as the First Lady of Motown? Starting off with the chords, and more specifically we're going to look at the verse and pre-chorus chords, which are exactly the same. But for now we're going to start off with the bar chord of C. This is what the iconic Piccolo intro is based off, the riff, which I'll come to a little bit later on, so stay tuned for that. But to begin with, you're going to place your first finger on the 3rd fret, and then you're going to, in the shape of A major, rooted in the shape of A major, you're going to move to the 5th fret on strings 4, 3 and 2, which forms C major. We're then going to take it to the 1st fret with our bar finger, and we're going to form the shape of E major, which is going to be on strings 5, 4 and 3, and this forms the chord of F major. From there we keep on the 1st fret with our bar finger, and we go back into the shape of A, rooted in the shape of A again, A major. This now forms the chord B flat. And from there we simply go back to the F major chord. The chord changes sit on every half bar. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Simple strum pattern, you can play each chord twice. Now if you're not comfortable with bar chords or a beginner guitarist, I will take it to the open chords a little bit later on to make it slightly easier. Same again, the only thing that changes is the actual strum pattern itself. A little bit easier, to be honest. We're going to play 1 strum on C, 1 strum on F, and then I usually play 2 on the B flat, and then back to the F with 1 strum. So let's put together the verse and pre-chorus. Now if you want to spend a bit more time doing a deep dive into these chords and the progression, I've taken the time to put together a song sheet. Find the link in the description below. Moving on to the chorus, we have 4 chords starting with G. This is now on the 3rd fret with our bar finger, and we're in the shape of E major. We then take it down to an E7, which is an open chord. We're going to use an open chord for this one, and that's simply the 1st finger on the 3rd string, 1st fret, and a 2nd finger on the 5th string, 2nd fret, playing from the top string. We then move to an A minor open chord. This is moving your 1st finger down 1 string, your 2nd finger down 1 string, which is now going to sit on the 4th string, and then your 3rd finger comes into the mix below your 2nd finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret, playing from string 5. And then we can go back to a familiar F major. So from the G we've got down, 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 up, down. And the count for that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we need to change on the 4 and. to the E7. We've got a quick 8th note change there in terms of value. And then we're going to go to the A minor with exactly the same strum progression as the G to the E7. Down, 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 up. 1, 2, 3 and 4 and the nice thing about that is you can just play that up strum of the F chord and then you can let it ring out, which buys you some time to go into that iconic riff, the piccolo. Of course, we're not going to use a piccolo today, we're going to use the trusty guitar. So let's get on to that riff, shall we? A lot of fun. So it's based off, like I say, the bar chord of the C major. So what we're looking for is to rake, what they call a rake, that chord, which is basically nice and slowly playing from string 4 all the way down to string number 2. And then what follows afterwards is our little finger will then go on the 2nd string on the 6th fret. Then we take our first finger to the 1st string, 3rd frets. It's going to be your G. Then we've got a nice little hammer on. So we're going to play that G note again on the 3rd fret, 1st string. Now I did say hammer on, I played those as single notes. So what we need to do is we're playing 3, 5 and 6 on the 1st string. But we're going to play the note of G once and then we're going to hammer on with our 3rd and 4th or pinky finger. A little bit challenging this. Great technique though, and it gives the pinky a nice workout. So once you've done this with the hammer on, keep your 1st finger and your 3rd finger in place. Two more notes to finish off. Again, we're descending. We're going to the 6th fret, 2nd string, and then we're going to finish up on the D, which is on the 5th fret, 2nd string. Now, before we move on to the open chord version, I'd love to know what your favourite Smokey Robinson and the Miracles track of all time is, or even your favourite Motown track. So we're going to start off with a C chord for the verse and the pre-chorus. Then we're going to move to an F major. This time, rather than the bar, what we're going to do is a mini bar, which is fretting strings 1 and 2 on the 1st fret, and then we're on to the 3rd string, 2nd fret, 4th string, 3rd fret, playing from the 4th string. And then we're going to move it to the said triad chord, which is going to be our B flat. That's the triad chord for B flat. And then we go back to the F major, of course. And then moving on to the chorus, we have an open G, a major chord, E7 as we played earlier, A minor as we played earlier, and a slightly easier version of the F major. Now it's time for you to put your new silky skills to the test with this play-along version I put together earlier.